Welcome to Lyracorp. In this episode, we'll discuss the recent changes in Trump administration tariff policy and their impact on various economies and industry. I'm Bhakti and joining me today is Vikas Kalisetti, a strategy consultant from Lyracorp. Welcome Vikas.
Thank you for having me, Bhakti. It's a pleasure to delve into this topic with you.
So let's begin by understanding the strategic intent behind President Donald Trump's decision to increase these tariffs. What do you think is the main reason behind the increase in these tariffs? Is it to generate more revenue, or is it just a crackdown to highlight the difference between tariffs imposed by the US and other countries?
Although it looks like the increase in tariffs are like a tit for tat in the difference of the tariffs charged by the US on the other countries and the vice versa, but there is a greater underlying reason behind it. The Trump wants the US to manufacturing sector to revive and achieve its lost glory, which in turn decreases its reliance in China. It's amazing to see how the US has helped China to become a manufacturing superpower, and now the China is challenging the global hegemony of the United States, and let's see how it unfolds.
How do you think this Cold War 2.0 is unfolding? Do you think China's response is a direct threat to the existing supply chain networks? How will this standoff impact the global economy?
Although Trump has hit with a very high tariffs, China's response has been highly assertive, vowing to only resist US pressure. This standoff has not only disrupted existing trade flows, but has also prompted companies worldwide to reassess their supply chains. Firms are now exploring alternative sourcing options to mitigate the impact of tariffs, leading to a realignment of global trade networks. This paves the way for developing economies to improve their manufacturing capabilities.
Alright, Vikas, do you think this is a big opportunity for India? How do you think this situation could unfold in India's favor?
Absolutely, Bhakti. This is a great opportunity for India to becoming a manufacturing superpower, as the tariffs imposed on India are much lower than the comparative countries. Let's compare Vietnam, which has 46% tariffs, Cambodia, which has 49% tariffs, compared to just 26% on India. This difference will significantly impact the decisions of companies looking to diversify their supply chains into different countries. The US has slapped a massive 104% tariff on China, making it difficult for those companies and Chinese manufacturers, and is promoting the American and Western companies to rethink their manufacturing strategies. These tariffs have a significant impact on many industries, especially since most of the Chinese manufacturing companies operate on a very low profit margins. This will disrupt their entire cost leadership strategy.
That seems really harsh on China, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It literally means that if a product is imported by United States, the United States government would make more money from importing that product rather than the product value itself. If this continues and companies don't find alternatives to Chinese manufacturers, US citizens will be paying a hefty price. China has vowed to retaliate against the tariffs imposed.
Do you think this standoff will result in a trade war between the two superpowers? How do you think this situation will unfold in the coming times?
If this escalates further, then both countries' citizens will pay the price. The Trump administration is trying to bring manufacturing back to the US to reduce reliance in China.
Considering the present situation, which industry do you think will face the most significant impact of the tariffs imposed? Will it be related to technology, manufacturing, or agricultural produce?
This definitely is going to be on the technological front and especially the semiconductor industry. The semiconductor industry stands at a critical juncture where it can determine which country becomes the next superpower. Currently, China is able to manufacture semiconductors through the TOT from the United States, but it's only a matter of time before China reverse engineers the technology. The US reserves exclusive rights to high end semiconductor technology to protect its national interests. But this is changing very quickly as China is moving rapidly to develop its own chipsets. The restrictions placed in China regarding semiconductor technology transfer could choke AI development in China.
AI has become a hot topic worldwide, and the one that can leverage it most effectively could become the next superpower. Apart from the semiconductor industry, do you think other industries will also be profoundly impacted?
Yes, industries that operate on narrow profit margins will be heavily impacted, especially those companies whose manufacturing plants are concentrated only in China. This majorly includes sectors like consumer electronics and retail products. Although every industry will be affected by these tariffs, these particular industries such as consumer electronics and retail products will be affected both directly and indirectly.
Now that it's evident Trump's moves are aimed at maintaining the US hegemony over the world, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this situation? Is there any way that this hegemony could be challenged by any other country?
The United States holds a secret weapon in its arsenal. It's not their economy and it's not their defense forces. It's the United States dollar. The US dollar is one of the strongest financial assets in existence. As the world's primary reserve currency, the US dollar gives the United States great control over global financial systems, which can significantly impact trade. The US dollar overthrew the British pound as the world's primary reserve currency almost a century ago, and unless a currency becomes so strong enough to challenge the USD, the US hegemony over the world cannot be challenged.
If being the world's primary reserve currency provides a country with so much power to dominate the world, why aren't other countries trying to build a currency to challenge this?
Cre-
Are there any plans by countries to challenge this hegemony?
Creating a strong currency to rival the US dollar is incredibly difficult. In the current circumstances, I think no single nation can develop such a currency without substantial backing, and this backing especially involves gold. Even in the heights of Cold War era, the Soviet Union was unable to challenge the USD. However, things are changing quickly and rapidly, and countries are slowly moving away from the dollar in a trend known as de-dollarization. The BRICS bloc, which constitutes countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are working on an alternative currency called the BRICS currency, which is backed by gold and supported by all the member nations.
We'll discuss more about de dollarization and BRICS currency in the next episode of this podcast series. Until then, stay tuned.